Welcome to Speak for Yourself. I'm Marcel Smiley. That's Emmanuel Acho. And let's get to our top story. Brought to you by Popeye's new 8-piece nuggets. We're starting it off with breaking news. The report says Sean Payton has informed the Saints he is stepping down as head coach. Payton leaves with a Super Bowl title, 9 playoff appearances, and a Coach of the Year award in his 15 seasons in New Orleans. Acho, what's your reaction to Sean Payton leaving the Saints?
Man, I'm not remembering the history, and I'm only looking forward now. Sean Payton to the Dallas Cowboys needs to happen immediately. And Jerry Jones, you've made stranger things happen. You got to find a way to trade for and acquire Sean Payton because the Saints still own the rights to him. If the Cowboys acquire Sean Payton, I will go as far as to say Dak Prescott will win a Super Bowl in Dallas before he retires. If the Cowboys acquire Sean Payton. Sean Payton's sell is the 4th winningest coach since 2006 when he left the Dallas Cowboys to become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Oh, by the way, he instantly became the AP Coach of the year he left the Dallas Cowboys. Sean Payton's departure from Dallas, I would submit, Jerry Jones' biggest regret. Many would say Jimmy Johnson. But remember, Jerry Jones built up a Super Bowl roster and won Super Bowls both with Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer after Jimmy Johnson. However, Jerry Jones has again built up Super Bowl rosters in the Dallas Cowboys, particularly 3 years, 2014, 2016, and this previous year, the 2021 season. But no Super Bowl to show for it. Why? Because he does not have the fearless leader at the head coaching position. If Sean Payton winds up in Dallas, the Cowboys will win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott and all of that talent around him. You got 5 Pro Bowlers. You got 3 All-Pros. You still got 2 beasts at the offensive line. You got a quarterback who's competent enough to get MVP votes during the course of a season. You got 2 top-flight receivers. You got a pass-catching tight end. You got a run-blocking tight end. You have all the pieces you need offensively. The Cowboys' issue is they don't have the combination of an offensive genius and a great game manager. They have an offensive wizard in Kellen Moore, but Kellen Moore too young and he's the offensive coordinator. He's not the game manager. Mike McCarthy is not a phenomenal game manager just as it pertains to the usage of timeouts and understanding critical situations, when to go for it on 4th down, when to run fakes on special teams accordingly. But Sean Payton knows how to do both, and he's shown he has the propensity and the ability to do both. Jerry Jones, find a way to acquire Sean Payton, and I promise you, you will find a way to acquire NFC Championship wins and a Super Bowl.
Oh, my. That's your reaction.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward, all right. Without knowing where you are and how'd you get to this place is we have to look at where you've been. I can't go forward until I look back. Okay. And I got to look back at Sean Payton and his career, and I got to give him respect. I got to give him props for his coaching career, but I also got to highlight some of the issues. Let's be real. Is Sean Payton the man for the Dallas Cowboys job already? 9-8 playoff record already? He had Drew Brees already for the Dallas Cowboys job. Let's talk about that New Orleans Saints job before we get to that Cowboys job he doesn't have just yet. Oh, man. This reminds me of Too Short when he said he was retiring because he just wanted to get out of his contract. He just was like, I'm out. Jive Records, I'm gone. And then Too Short is still putting out albums week after week, year after year, it seems like, after that retirement. It does seem see-through in terms of this retirement. It does seem like this is going to be short-lived in terms of retirement. I'll give you that. So I understand why you're already connected to the Dallas Cowboys. But you know what I hate about this moment right now, looking at Sean Payton in his career and thinking it may be over, is that when coaches have to coach, coaches be out. Coaches be like, you know what's so crazy? I'm going to tell you, coach, when it's time to really coach, like buy into my philosophy, buy into my scheme, buy into me, buy into this program, buy into this team. When it's time to now do that, actually execute that, coaches ain't there. You know why? Because what they're really trying to say is if we don't have the horses, we don't have the talent, we ain't going to do anything. And Sean Payton right now in this moment, this is the time to coach. Look, we understand you had 7-9 seasons, like 6, 7-9 seasons. Okay, that's the floor for Sean Payton. That's the worst he could do. Even this year and all those struggles, they were a winning team, 9-8. But you know what the problem is? Coaches don't want to coach anymore. They just want to ride as jockeys on the horses of tremendous talents, like a Drew Brees, like potentially a Dak Prescott. Or, let's be real, things don't work out in L.A. with the Chargers, they got to get to the playoffs with Justin Herbert. That doesn't work out, that retirement will be short-lived as well as an L.A. Charger head coach. So when real coaching comes up, coaches He signed. This is a moment where you look at Jameis Winston, a former number 1 overall pick, who had some highs last year before his injury. Coach him up. Not me. Oh, you got Taysom Hill, which I get. Like $20 million for some backup, gadget kind of player. I understand why that's a head scratcher. Maybe you want to depart from that situation. But damn, Sean Payton, you're such a tremendous coach, which I agree with. Coach him up. Right. But they don't want to do that in this moment. So that's my only issue. Your overall playoff record, and when it's time to really do some coaching, peace.
But I got two things. I'm always pro-player. Y'all know me. I always am pro-player, and I am typically anti-coach. But I think Sean Payton is doing what we all applauded Tom Brady for doing. Wait, Tom Brady, you understood you cannot win in these circumstances in New England. You don't have the talent around you. So let me depart New England and go find a place where I do have the talent around me. Sean Payton will be to the Dallas Cowboys what Tom Brady was in year 1 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the missing piece that can take this team to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady went to a Buccaneers team that had 7 wins the year before, but he realized you have a Hall of Fame caliber receiver in Mike Evans. You got a Pro Bowl caliber receiver in Chris Godwin. You got a running back, Ronald Jones. You got defensive beasts. I am the missing piece. Sean Payton goes to the Cowboys. You got an MVP vote caliber quarterback. You got a top 5 pick formerly at running back. You got 2 beasts at wide receiver. You have one of the best young pass rushers in the game. You have a best ball hawking cornerback in the game. I am the missing piece. Sean Payton will be to the Cowboys what Tom Brady has been to the Buccaneers. Sean Payton is he's escaping a bad situation because he understands I can't win in New Orleans anymore. So where else can I go win? Now, we know this. This is the pump fake retirement. This ain't that real, like, man, I'm done coaching.
Yeah, it's too short.
It's that, you know what I'm saying, that Urban Meyer retirement. You know what I mean? Like, let me retire for a hot minute. If there's another situation that I find myself attracted to, I will go there. But, Sel, when you really kick back and think about it, I don't fault Sean Payton, because the Saints weren't going to win no time soon. He knows that. Jameis Winston coming off a torn ACL, and Jameis Winston was already not the most athletic, agile quarterback.
Yeah.
Behind Jameis Winston, you got Trevor Siemian. You also have Taysom Hill. Sean Payton knows Taysom Hill's a great gadget player, not a great quarterback. But Sean Payton, sure, you can get somebody in the draft. Oh, wait. This is the worst quarterback draft class that we have seen since, I believe, the 2014 draft class. So you have to understand that this is not going to be an ideal draft class for you either. Sean Payton, like, man, I'm 65 years old. I'm not just about to sit here and wait around for something. Maybe he's in his 50s, excuse me. But Sean Payton sitting back like, I'm not going to sit here and wait around to try to win another one in New Orleans. Let me go somewhere where I can win one. He has that relationship with Jerry. I think that's the move.
Oh, man, look. I give you this. He watched the playoffs like we all did. They said they couldn't get in touch for a minute. He was off the grid. He was off the radar. He was watching the playoffs. And he was looking at Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And then he just popped in Joe Burrow. Then he popped in his old Saints tape for this year in review. And he said, And then one of his assistants said, hey, man, guess what? And Justin Herbert didn't even make the playoffs. He's like, what the hell is going on here? I give you that. But that's where I stop. I understand that there's a perspective. There's obviously his understanding of what the quarterback position has evolved to and what he has on his roster. And there's a huge gap between the two. But this is when coaching, and this is what coaches got to coach. Let me tell you why. Tom Brady's a bad example. Tom Brady was whispered to in 2014 when they drafted Jimmy G. No, time's up. Belichick found his replacement.
Yes, sir.
Right? So Tom Brady held on for 6 years and won Super Bowls as well. But Tom Brady already knew, hey, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. It doesn't matter in terms of assets. I'm not going anywhere. This is a better example. He's somewhere between Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers in terms of narrative, in terms of legacy. Who is Russell Wilson? Tremendous champion, right? We respect Russell Wilson. Third rounder became who he is, Russell Wilson. But we also know that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and he wants to go somewhere else. One losing season, and all of a sudden Russell Wilson looking around like, I'm good. Sean Payton, you didn't even have a losing season. You're already like, I'm going to retire and I'll be back. Okay, so you're somewhere between there and Aaron Rodgers. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. How is he like Aaron Rodgers? All that talent. All that greatness. You're a tremendous coach. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, you're a tremendous quarterback. One ring? You had Drew Brees, one ring. Sean Payton, that's it. Aaron Rodgers, you got one ring. And then you look at the playoff records. What's Aaron Rodgers' playoff record, 11-10. What's Sean Payton's playoff record? 9-8. Y'all supposed to be tremendous. Y'all supposed to be greats. And y'all hovering around 500. He's somewhere in that where, why aren't you just going to sit still and take a winning situation back to where it can go instead of going somewhere else and hoping that that situation takes you where you go?
Because I think Sean Payton in this moment is trying to be that meteorologist, that person who forecasts the weather. Just because it is sunny right now, and it's not even sunny, it's cloudy in New Orleans based upon their season this past year. 9-8 didn't make the playoffs. So that's not storming, but it's not sunny. It's a little bit cloudy. But Sean Payton is forecasting, I still don't have a quarterback going into next season because Jameis Winston might or might not be ready by training camp, won't be ready by off-season team activities. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking at it like this. Sean Payton, since 2006, has 168 wins to his name. But we, the Dallas Cowboys, have 149 wins to our name. Sean Payton has 9 playoff wins. We got 3. Sean Payton got a Super Bowl, and we ain't sniffed it since. Keep in mind, y'all, Sean Payton was suspended for the entirety of a season. So he has 20 more wins than the coaches of the Cowboys, and he missed the entirety of a season. Keep in mind, y'all, Sean Payton was coaching the Saints from 2006 up until present day. Meanwhile, Cowboys had Bill Parcells, Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett, and now Mike McCarthy. So Sean Payton has been to the stability of an organization where the Cowboys have had nothing but instability. Sean Payton can come in and be the great stabilizer. So if you were the boys, you got to look at who you got. You look at who you can get. But most importantly, if you're Jerry Jones and you are in your 80s at this point in time and you have done your part as an owner, you've built up the most valuable franchise in sports. As a general manager, you have built up one of the 3 most talented teams in sports. If you're Jerry Jones, I have done my job. I need a head coach who can do his. I gave him Micah Parsons. I gave him Trayvon Diggs. I gave him Dak Prescott. I gave him CeeDee Lamb. I gave him Amari Cooper. I gave him DeMarcus Lawrence. I gave him Zeke, and if you don't like Zeke, I gave him Tony Pollard. I gave him Tyron Smith, and I gave him Travis Frederick. Now, of all those people I named, I believe the Cowboys drafted every one except for Amari Cooper. So if you are Jerry Jones, you have done your job as a GM, and you have done your job as an owner, but you need a head coach that can do the job, and that is Sean Payton.
And that also is Mike McCarthy. Oh, we're gonna take shots at Mike McCarthy, huh?
I didn't.
Yes, you did, because you're trying to get him replaced. Yes, that's the ultimate shot. Bye. Bow. I don't even want to hear that you're not trying to take shots at Mike McCarthy when you want to take Mike McCarthy's job from him. And take it for what? To replace him with another coach that just won 1 Super Bowl, who has a Hall of Fame quarterback like I did. But those are all blemishes on Mike McCarthy's resume. But they're all positives and beautiful makeup when it comes to Sean Payton's resume. I wonder why, Acho. Make it make sense. I'm not replacing Mike McCarthy to get the same version of him, just a smaller version of him in terms of Sean Payton. I'm not doing that. You got to make it make more sense than just, Sean Payton just seems like a better coach. Well, seems like it has results, has numbers, has a record, has a resume. And I don't see his resume really out surpassing what I see from Mike McCarthy. So let's talk about why Sean Payton is really retiring. He looked at the quarterback situation, as we talked about earlier. But Sean Payton was already sitting there pretty much looking for that last straw. And it wasn't this year because they were 9-8. It wasn't this year because of the quarterback situation. I don't think Sean Payton ever got over Bountygate. And I'm going to be real about that. Let's talk about Bountygate for a second, because former players could talk about Bountygate different than those who weren't in the locker room. There was nothing wrong with having a bounty on a player. I'm going to tell you why. I did it. I was the one who was paying the money, and I was the one who was receiving the money, especially my younger years. Run down on kickoff while they knock somebody out. Okay, that was what I was going to do anyway, coach, but now you're going to put 100 on it? And people are like, why are you going to put money on hurting someone? We're not doing it illegally. We're not doing it unethically. Message to fans. Whenever you step on the white lines, somebody going to feel it. And it's going to either be them or you. My message mentally was always knock his ass out. Now, did I do that? A few times. But the point is, if coach goes out there, here's one example. I want you guys today to stop the run. Everybody, stop the run. He's just emphasizing that we need to stop the run. Now, same coach says, I want y'all to stop the run, and I give y'all 1,000 if they don't get 100 yards. Oh, my God, everyone's up in arms? That's all about it was. Go get them. like you already going to go get him. So I think Sean Payton was that kid in class, and this happened to me. Tell me if it happened to you at St. Mark's, who got caught cheating. I got caught cheating before. Oh, yeah. And you walking out the classroom, you like, yo, the whole class cheating? No. But you don't say anything. You're like, yo, they need to go check them baseball hats. Check them calculators. Check them palms. Everybody cheating. But you sitting there like, damn it, I can't say that. Boy, that sits in your craw forever. I think that Sean Payton right now is just sitting there like, you know what? This situation is not worth fighting through. I get it. Let's go to somewhere else, greener pastures. Come up here and talk for a living. Come to Fox. Matter of fact, Sean Payton, we make room for you right here. No. Point being, I understand why he left, but if I were him, I'd be staying there trying to make it better. Coming up, Jimmy G and criticism go hand in hand. I'll tell you if the Niners quarterback is actually underappreciated. Wow. But first, Packers say they want Aaron Rodgers back next season. We'll tell you if they should want that to happen. That's next. Oh, speak for yourself.
Check them palms, boy. They be cheating on them palms, teacher.
Sunday, the NFC Championship game presented by Intuit TurboTax Live is on Fox. With the clash between division rivals as Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams for a trip to Super Bowl 56. All kicks off at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on Fox Sports app. Well, Aaron Rodgers, he won't be there because the Packers season is over, but now all the attention is on Rodgers' future. Head coach Matt LaFleur said he met with the quarterback on Monday, then told the media there's no debate. He and the front office want Rodgers back next season, adding, quote, certainly we would love for him to be a Packer and be a Packer to the day he decides to retire. So, Sal, should the Packers want Aaron Rodgers to stay?
Absolutely. They don't have an option. Think about it. If you're the Green Bay Packers, oh, boy, did your scheme blow up right in your face. Let's go get his replacement. Let's show Aaron Rodgers, hey, this is how you got the job. You were the replacement for Brett Favre. So now, hey, don't take this personal. It's just how we do it around here in Green Bay. We're going to get your replacement. And this is not an indictment on how we feel about you. This is not saying anything about you and your performance and production. It's just we got to be smart around here, having an insurance policy. Oh, that's fine. Only problem is when they try to cash that insurance policy in, they ain't get what they thought they were going to get. Aaron Rodgers is now in the position of leverage. Aaron Rodgers is now going to make them go through hell for trying to play him and trying to replace him. And that's where we are right now. Here's the thing, though. Aaron Rodgers, your scheme is blown up in your face as well, because if you're going to bet on yourself, you got to make it happen, Captain. You can't win another MVP as it looked like he is this year and still go one and done in the playoffs as the number one seed. So now you're looking at two situations where the Packers organization and Aaron Rodgers, the player, both have a plan. And both plans are not working out according to plan. So what's going to happen? Aaron Rodgers is going to come back next year after he makes them go through another offseason of some pain and some pinching. I look at this situation simply, if you're Aaron Rodgers, it's so hard to remove your ego from this conversation. And in any negotiation, when you put your ego into it, all of a sudden you just uncomplicated things. But Aaron Rodgers is sitting there like, look, I have to threaten with retirement. I have to threaten with I may go elsewhere. But in reality, his heart is in Green Bay. The problem is Green Bay tried to take his heart and give it away. Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year after he makes them pay for the hell that they caused.
The Packers should not want Aaron Rodgers to stay. Not at all. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't desire that. Not one bit. But we all in life have to wrestle with the difference between want and a need. Mm-hmm. Right? A need is something that you must have to survive. The Packers need Aaron Rodgers to stay. And that, for me, is the difference. Sal, if you're the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers has you leverage. He has you captive, rather.
Yeah.
He has all the leverage. Yeah. Because you understand that Jordan Love isn't who we thought he is, and you understand that you're not a primary free agent destination. You're in Green Bay after all. Mm-hmm. So you don't necessarily want Aaron Rodgers, but you need Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Because who else are you going to replace him with?
Yeah.
You think about the New York Giants. New York Giants got rid of Odell Beckham, but they had no replacement plan. They had no bona fide number one receiver. They tried to piecemeal it together. I'll take a little bit of Darius Slayton. I'll take a little bit of Sterling Shepard. Oh, give me a little bit of Golden Tate. Not good enough. No. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. You don't retain
Des Bryant, we'll just try to piecemeal him together. Let me get a little bit of Cole Beasley here. Let me get a little bit of this dude. Let me get a little. No. Until they finally realized we got to go sign Amari Cooper, trade for Amari Cooper halfway in the season because they realized they needed a bona fide number one. It's the same thing for the Green Bay Packers. Though they don't want Aaron Rodgers to stay, and let me tell it based on my emotions, get rid of Aaron Rodgers. But the fact of the matter is, if you do not have Aaron Rodgers, then who do you have? Until you can figure out some sort of contingency plan, you have to keep him around. It's the same predicament that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been in with Ben Roethlisberger. That's why Ben Roethlisberger I want to retire. Okay, I'll come back. And the Steelers have to keep letting him in the door because they have no one else.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers, they know they have no one else incredibly competent at that position as it stands right now. So they need Aaron Rodgers more than they want Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but this situation is deeper than those examples because it's contentious because they actually tried to replace Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers was like, I get it, based on birth certificate, this is according to plan. But then their plan blew up in their face, and now Aaron Rodgers is like, you want me to clean up your mess? I got my own problems to deal with. I have my own career to focus on rather than clean up your plan that blew up in your face. And succession plans only work if you succeed, if it's successful. Like Jordan Love them ripped up everything that the Green Bay Packers were thinking in accordance to what this team was going to do going forward, and more importantly, what they were going to do with Aaron Rodgers. Basically, in a relationship with Aaron Rodgers, they started to date somebody else right before his very eyes. And that's already bad enough. But worse is you actually are going out and trying to highlight and trying to accent how much better they are going to be than what you are right now. And Aaron Rodgers is like, that's cute too. Because look, everyone knows, Aaron Rodgers especially, only got one ring. Not impossible of a feat for somebody to go out there, even a lesser quarterback, and get this organization one ring if he's worth his salt. The problem is he's not even worth really getting on the field unless there's injury. He has to miss because of COVID. So now Aaron Rodgers is like, I want you to beg your way back. And that's what this whole last offseason was about. And I think that's what this offseason is going to be about. Aaron Rodgers just wants to feel the love. If you're going to try and replace me and date right before my very eyes, at least upgrade. If you're not going to upgrade, then I'm going to make you pay for the hell you try to call.
But if you're the Packers, Sel, you also might have to realize, let's take this one giant step back so we can take a bigger leap forward. If you lose Aaron Rodgers, we all have to understand that is going to be a giant step back.
Yes.
But eventually you have to realize, we're going to take a leap forward because Aaron Rodgers clearly is now also hitting his head on the playoff ceiling. The playoff ceiling for him is a NFC championship game. This year, he did not even get to that. I hate when coaches let pride get in the way of their decision-making, but you can only get punked for so long. Ooh. And Aaron Rodgers punked the Packers all offseason. He didn't want to show up to offseason team activities. He was wearing these different shirts. He wanted to request all these different types of players. So you can't let Aaron Rodgers start to take over and act as the general manager as well and start to make erroneous decisions. So eventually you have to stop getting punked. And the Packers, y'all got punked for a whole year. You're going to get punked for a whole nother year just to also not win a Super Bowl, Sel? That's where I run into an issue.
Oh, man. I knew we were going to find a point where it's like, all right, I got to go, dog. I holla. I holla. Punked? Wearing a T-shirt is punking somebody now? Damn. I'm old. Missing OTAs that I've missed before is punking y'all now? Damn. Me saying I want a player? Today, there's reports of Lamar Jackson potentially wanting Antonio Brown just because he posted or reposted or just got on his page and commented. That's not punking the organization. It's kind of letting you know what I like, what I want. I like ketchup on my tacos. It's just that simple. Here's the thing, though. Here's where there's some contention as well. Aaron Rodgers is suffering not only within the organization, but outside by his fan base in terms of likability. He's taken a hit in terms of his reputation. Whatever Brett Favre was before his last 2 or 3 years in Green Bay, it took a hit those last years, right? Aaron Rodgers is in the same predicament as I said yesterday because he has football daddy issues. He was raised by Brett Favre. Now he acting just like Brett Favre at the end of his career, in Green Bay at least. But the thing is, I don't like it when it's not objective. I don't like it when it's based on likability, not just results. I'm going to show you a full screen right here. Someone who was very likable, Payton Manning. And I love Payton Manning. You even said it yesterday. He didn't underachieve when he left Indianapolis, but look at those numbers. Okay, he didn't underachieve. Peyton Manning, the great, number 1 overall pick versus that guy over there who's the number 24 overall pick. Peyton Manning's numbers are the same or worse than Aaron Rodgers. And then the most important one at the bottom, Super Bowl titles, the same. But don't we digest those two players differently? Remember, go back to Peyton Manning when he had to leave Indy and the Hallmark cards and the sympathy and, what's going to happen? Versus Aaron Rodgers. You're going to say it's self-inflicted, but the results are just the results.
But here's why we say that, and here's why we view them differently, because Aaron Rodgers is significantly more talented than Peyton Manning.
Ooh, what you mean he can move?
Who's more athletic?
Huh?
Who's more athletic?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, stop.
Who has a better arm?
The sheriff?
The sheriff was the
I'm
sheriff
not talking about how prettier.
Distributing.
I'm not talking about prettier.
Who has a better
Marvin Harrison off of Edgerrin James play fake is 90 yards in the air. I played against it.
It is indisputable that Aaron Rodgers has a better arm than Peyton Manning.
No, I'm not. I don't know what better arm to you means. He throws a pretty deep ball, both of them. Aaron Rodgers has more arm angles, this new sophistication.
He has a better arm.
I don't think so. I can't go there.
What?
We don't have to argue. I played against. No, I'm not giving you better arm. I give you prettier arm.
Not even pretty.
They're both 10s.
His arm can do more than Peyton Manning's arm could do.
It can do it at different angles. That's all it can do. That's all it can do. I'm not giving you that one. We're going to be up here all day.
We're going to argue off camera.
Okay, we will.
With that being said, when I look at it, it's like, look, Aaron Rodgers is causing too many issues in Green Bay for what he is giving us. We do not want Aaron Rodgers here, but we might need Aaron Rodgers here.
Great point.
If I am the Green Bay Packers, beg Aaron Rodgers to stay. Beg Aaron Rodgers to stay while you are looking elsewhere, because you have to understand you need to replace him, but you can't replace him until you have someone to replace him with.
Yeah, but you got to be real. You got to bring you, Acho, to this conversation. You, Acho, to your job. You can't just say, I'm going to do my job and not bring you. If this happened to you, imagine you're a player and they say, they tried to do this to me in Buffalo. They drafted in the first round, my contract year, a guy named Eric Flowers. And I saw him the first few practices. I was like, he's about to take my job and I ain't going to get no money. But, things worked out for me. Point being, it hurts. It stings. And that's little old me. Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl champion.
That's a good point.
4 MVPs. The sheriff, Peyton Manning, 4 MVPs. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers going to win MVP this year. Yeah, I added one. So the point is, he's like, I don't get the love the sheriff gets just because the sheriff did it quietly and I'm trying to make some noise. Well, the noise is added up to the same as Peyton Manning, but the love certainly is not the same. Coming up, Jimmy G is in the NFC Championship game again. We'll tell you if he's actually underappreciated. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Jimmy Garoppolo is making his second trip in 3 seasons to the NFC Championship game. Jimmy G is 4-1 in the playoffs as the Niners starter, but his critics, they're not going away. George Kittle has his quarterbacks back. Take a listen.
Jimmy G, I mean, you can't say enough about that guy. The he takes, excuse my language, we just can consistently people try to pull him down, and all he does is try to deliver, and he leads this team. Yeah, he's the sense of calm in the huddle. He's the sense of calm in the storm, and he allows us to play football at a high level.
Brother Acho, is Jimmy G underappreciated?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Jimmy G is drastically and severely underappreciated. Unlike most, I fervently believe winning and losing is a quarterback stat. And Jimmy G is one of the best winners at the quarterback position in the game of football. See, with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy G, Kyle Shanahan wins 35 games and only has 15 losses. However, with every other quarterback shot, Kyle Shanahan is 8-28. Winning and losing is a quarterback stat, at least when Jimmy G is involved. We cannot knock Aaron Rodgers for not being able to get it done, but then knock Jimmy G, who finds a way to get it done. We can't have it both ways, y'all, and I refuse to have it both ways myself. Jimmy G does not get enough credit because Jimmy G finds a way to win, period. The quarterback is the only player, along with the center, that touches the ball every single snap. So the quarterback can be the great eraser, erasing a multitude of mistakes, or the quarterback can be the great mistake, making a multitude of errors. Jimmy G may not be the great eraser, but he is absolutely not the great mistake because he has a 4-1 playoff record, y'all. Jimmy G, 35 wins, only 15 losses when he is with Kyle Shanahan. We have to eventually acknowledge, while Jimmy G may not have all of these amazing intangibles, he might not be the fastest, he might not have the most wiry arm. Y'all know we like using those random adjectives when describing the quarterback's arm. Jimmy G is an incredible winner. and that has to count for something because the game of football is about winning. The game of football is not about making highlight plays. It's about finding a way to win. It's about not losing games and making plays that win games. Yes, there are outliers to the rule that quarterback is a winning and losing statistic. We saw Josh Allen play a miraculous game and still lost.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Mahomes made some incredible plays that won.
Yeah.
However, a rule does not change itself because of outliers. Ryan Tannehill lost the Titans that game because he played as the great mistake in that game. So Jimmy G finds a way to win. And we need to appreciate Jimmy G for being an ultimate winner. He is underappreciated.
He certainly is underappreciated, and I'm glad it's getting crowded on this side of the room in terms of appreciating who Jimmy G is. This really is a conversation that you have to break down by tangibles and intangibles. And the thing about Jimmy G that people, I don't know why they're forgetting, is that he's anointed. Bill Belichick drafted Jimmy Garoppolo. What does that mean? Bill Belichick also drafted Tom Brady and got the most out of Tom Brady, as Tom Brady is now the GOAT. Now, Tom Brady, his greatest talents are his intangibles. Let's just be real about it, because don't let anything else distract you from when you first saw Tom Brady, and some of his coaches have come on this show and talked about it and testified to it, didn't have off-the-chart talents in terms of tangibles. But in terms of intangibles, work ethic, leadership, determination, desire, discipline, everything on the weight room wall, Tom Brady was off the charts. Now, it took us a while to finally give him his fair due and his props. Even in success, even in winning Super Bowl championships, people still were trying to knock Tom Brady because they couldn't add it up. Well, here's the thing that's special about Jimmy Garoppolo, that he shines the most after the equal sign, just like Tom Brady. Don't try and add it up. Don't try and say this, what I can see. No, hit equal and see those results, winning results. That's who Jimmy Garoppolo is. I love the fact that sometimes you can look at a situation and not read it properly, and then you have that epiphany, that aha moment, and then you realize, who is the magic straw? Who is stirring this to make this all happen? It's Jimmy Garoppolo. Think about it. Kyle Shanahan, tremendous coach, most would say. Genius coach, a lot would say. Without Jimmy G, you don't have the same results after that equal sign. So Jimmy Garoppolo is that adult in the room, Mr. Steady Eddie. Doesn't get all the props, not causing all the stir, not making all the noise, but is that adult in the room that is steadying this ship of all those personalities and all that dynamic talent.
Let me accentuate that point. Phenomenal point. The problem is not with Jimmy Garoppolo. The problem is with us and our analysis of Jimmy Garoppolo. The problem is we have too narrow a scope is how we analyze Jimmy G, and thus we don't actually analyze what's most important. We analyze what's easiest to assess. What do I mean?
Yes.
Even in our educational system, we only value intellectual intelligence. But what really takes you throughout the course of society is emotional intelligence. The problem is you can't quantify emotional intelligence. You can only quantify based off a standardized test intellectual capacity. So we are only testing what is easiest to assess as opposed to what is most important.
Talk to us.
When it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo, we don't actually assess the it factor. Him running up to kicker Robbie good as gold at the end of the game and clearly seeing that they have a bond. I wonder what Jimmy G told Robbie Gold before the kick that sent the 49ers to the NFC Championship game. We don't assess those things that are more difficult to quantify. Let me give you all another story. I've said this before. Me and Marcellus, we are walking to a restaurant. It does not matter. I will say we are walking to Cheesecake Factory. We walk into Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, hey, big dog, sell. I left my keys outside. I must have dropped them outside. We walk outside. I turn right. I start checking under the nearest light pole. Nearest light pole. Sell looks at me and says, Acho, we didn't come in from the right. We came in from the left. I look at Sell and say, I know, but it's easiest to assess under this light. That is what we do as it pertains to quarterback play, and that's what it is with Jimmy G. I know he wins a lot, but it's easiest to assess that his completion percentage wasn't great. I know Jimmy G wins a lot, but it's easiest to assess the fact that he threw an interception this game. I know Jimmy G wins a lot, but let me just look under the light pole because that's where it's easiest to assess passer rating and interceptions and touchdowns and completion percentage and QBR. But the fact of the matter is, Jimmy G is a winner. So we need to start to try to acquire information where the information is most important, and that is what pertains to winning and losing with the team.
Tremendous. Look at this layer over here. I'll take the factory grande burrito, sour cream on the side. Love me some cheesecake.
You got to know your order, too.
Boy, already. That means you too damn big and too damn long. I ain't got time to read this book. Okay, ooh, man, Jimmy G, man. You know what's funny about talent, tangibles? You can see them, right? And since you can look at them, you got to remember that looks are deceiving. So is talent at times. Aaron Rodgers is sitting there saying, man, all this talent, but it could be deceiving in terms of processing that to team success. Talent is not enough. Talent gets you into the door, and then these intangibles take over. Be real. How many guys did you grow up with? How many guys did you encounter that were more talented than you? My list is long. And the most talented didn't even get a sniff, didn't even make it, because there are the intangibles that I don't want to sit there and slight them, but they struggle with the intangibles. And then there are other guys like a Jimmy Garoppolo who has some tangibles, but has greater intangibles that are not fully respected. It's like the example is like if you really want a team to come to life, you really want it to have its juice, you got to know what the battery is. You got to know where the engine is in that team, right? And if you look at anything, a battery is a positive and a negative. People always thinking you got to have all this talent, got to have all these like minds and all these like players. Nah, you need somebody when Debo is walking with Trent Williams with the boombox that's going to be steady Eddie. Like, you know, y'all partying in the Uber, y'all chilling in the car with me. But I'm the one that got my eyes on the road, just checking the surroundings, just making sure Robbie Gold is good, and just making sure that everybody has the right emotional intelligence for these moments. Jimmy G is the one with his eyes on the road. And that's why I think that they're going to start to respect him. And imagine they win this game. He will be in his second Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls was Aaron Rodgers?
Talk about it.
Man, it's going to get real out here in these streets.
Hey, let me add to this.
Let's go.
The biggest knock on Jimmy Garoppolo is not that he's bad. The biggest knock on Jimmy Garoppolo is just that he's not good. And there's a small difference, but a difference nonetheless. So every day walking into the studio, I don't know if you've noticed the Skip and the Shannon posters, and one says always right and the other says never wrong. A small difference, but there's a difference nonetheless. I'll let y'all chew on that one. When they're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, it's never been that he's bad. The issue is just that he's not that good. Jimmy Garoppolo, relative to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, he wasn't bad. But Jimmy Garoppolo missed Emmanuel Sanders on the deep route. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, 3rd and 15, fading way off his back foot, hits Tyreek Hill on a corner post. All of a sudden, Jimmy Garoppolo let Patrick Mahomes be better than him in that moment. Jimmy Garoppolo, he wasn't bad, but I believe it's 2nd and 7. The producers might know because they might be scarred still by the moment. Chris Jones bats a ball down. He just let Chris Jones be better than him on that play. Getting a ball batted down from a defensive lineman is not bad. But you could have been Patrick Mahomes good sidearm like he did against the Buffalo Bills and find a way to be better than the defender on that play. We have to acknowledge Jimmy G is not bad, and we cannot even act like he is bad. If you want to say he's not as good as Mahomes, not as good as Josh Allen, and not as good as Aaron Rodgers, y'all go ahead.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, Jimmy G adds it up to win.
Yeah, I think it's just because he has those intangibles. He's a worker. Here's a Wileyism to kind of button up what Jimmy G is. Everybody wants to go to the parade, but nobody wants to build the floats. And you know when they start building those floats? For Thanksgiving, Christmas Day parade? In March. And Jimmy G is just that quiet presence that is always there, always working, and always adding it up. You just don't always see it. But when you show up, you see the talent. Sometimes that's a little too late. Speaking of Jimmy G's squad, Fox Bet Super 6 wants the nation to stack the cash again for the 49ers-Rams NFC Championship game on Fox. Last week, the jackpot reached over $325,000, and they want to make it even higher this week. So scan the QR code and enter the NFC Championship contest for your free chance to win. Invite your friends to play, too, because the more people who enter, the bigger the jackpot gets. Let's get that money. Coming up, Dak Prescott, speaking of money, is being called out by a Cowboys legend. We'll tell you if we're surprised by his criticism. That's next.
Boy, Dak Prescott took some heat from Cowboys legend and now Hall of Famer Drew Pearson after Dallas's loss in the playoffs. Pearson said, quote, there's a wavering now with Dak. I saw his regression as the season went on. That's a disappointment at $40 million a year. Oh, I love this. Let's go. Sal, are you surprised by Dak Prescott's criticism?
By the criticism? No. What he's talking about, I'm surprised, but who he's talking about? Who? No. The way to get to the penthouse in terms of attention is to talk bad about Dak Prescott and skip all those other floors of sorry players, other players who are inconsistent. Just skip past those floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, Zeke, Amari, CD. Just skip past those players and talk about the penthouse. Talk about Dak Prescott. So I'm not surprised. But what is he talking about? I respect you, Drew Pearson, Mr. 98th ballot, the Hall of Fame. I ain't got a number, so I know I can clown. But the point is, Drew Pearson, what are you talking about? Dak Prescott has gotten better every single year he's been in the NFL. And within this year, you want to say, well, the first half was different than the second half. Yeah, and team success. And obviously, Dak had some struggles coming back from injury. But did I see the Dallas Cowboys in 6 of their last 9 games score 27 points or more? Did I see them have the number 1 scoring offense at the end of the regular season? Did I see them have the number 1 total? Number 1. Dog, I can hear criticism when I'm number 11, 20, and I'm making all this money. Number 1. And then we get into the postseason. And Dak didn't play his best game, but he wasn't by himself. Where are the other names? What was Ezekiel Elliott? Oh, okay. CD Lamb. Come on, man. Amari Cooper. Even Jerry Jones has come out after that game and said, Amari, we got to talk. What's going on with you and your inconsistency? Point being, to talk about Dak Prescott is so lazy. It's such the low-hanging fruit, but I know that a lot of people like to eat that, and Nacho about to grab some too as well. So go ahead and eat on some of that low-hanging.
Give me that apple, and y'all can call me Eve.
Go ahead. What?
I'm not at all surprised by the Dak Prescott criticism. For so long, Dak Prescott has been perceived as an overachieving 4th-round pick. But now he is perceived as an underachieving $40 million quarterback. See, the Dak Prescott did not change. The lens we view Dak Prescott through, it changed.
Okay.
But that is just a natural human trait. Whenever you invest a higher amount in something, you have a higher expectation for some facts. Send your child to public school. Oh my gosh, you're so happy and elated with the different things that the school is providing, the different resources, the different sports leagues, etc. Pay $25,000 a year to send your child to private school.
That's it? Only 25?
Depends where you at.
Oh, boy, I know.
Pay that $25 to send your child to private school. All of a sudden, you critical of everything.
Hamburger.
It could be the exact same educational structure. It could be the exact same educational resources. But once you increase your investment, you increase your expectation. Sure. And the Cowboys have increased their investment in Dak Prescott, so they too have increased their expectation. Just because the action is the same, the expectation can be different, and thus the reaction will be different. Sal, you got a 3-year-old, you got a 6-year-old. If the 3-year-old were to eat with their hands, you might be upset, but you might expect that of a 3-year-old to some degree. If a 6-year-old gonna eat with their hands, the same action, but the reaction will be vastly different because the expectation is drastically different.
That's him.
Dak Prescott's actions have been relatively the same. He was 13-3 his rookie year. He got an MVP vote his rookie year. But all of a sudden, that was enough. Rookie year, he still lost the first playoff game at home to the Green Bay Packers, coming off a bye. But now Dak Prescott, $40 million, same action, 12 wins, 5 losses, home playoff game, loses again at home. Come on, Dak, that's not enough. Same action, different reaction, because expectations will always dictate your reaction to an action, not the action itself.
Man, Dak. What did he say? And this is one of the craziest statements. Please, somebody explain this to me. You can't win for losing. Like when people say, I'm like, hey!
I can't win for losing.
That ain't a Wileyism, but
it's deep, though.
It's deep.
When it actually makes sense, it's deep.
Yeah, it's really shallow and deep. Like, I still don't understand it, but it feels like it's appropriate for this one right now. Dak wasn't 13-3. He wasn't 13-3. They were 13-3. See, that's the thing. This is why I don't like this criticism. It's always about Dak. It's only because of Dak. But then when you look at Dak in the playoffs, in every game, let's talk about it, Dak when he beats Green Bay. Oh, he doesn't beat Green Bay. Why? Because the defense gives up 34 points, the most they gave up that entire season, and he outduels Aaron Rodgers. Oh, when Dak goes out there and beats Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl champion, who cares? No signature moment, as you always say, Acho. Then he plays the Rams. Where's Ezekiel? 20 for 47. Dak plays well. Where's Ezekiel? He's not there. Now, this game, Dak didn't play well. But guess what? Nobody else really did as well. Ezekiel didn't. CeeDee Lamb, halftime, we're like, is he going to catch the ball this game? Amari Cooper, where were you at? Like, the point is, I don't know why we just continue to skip over all of the other surrounding issues with this team and focus on this guy, the guy who has the second highest passer rating through 6 seasons of any quarterback in the Super Bowl era. And you want to know who's number one? Russell Wilson. Oh, look at the gap in terms of how you think of Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson. I know, because he won a Super Bowl. But guess what? He didn't win a Super Bowl because of Russell Wilson exclusively. It was a legion of boom. Give Dak a legion of boom. Give him consistent offensive players. Then you have a conversation with criticism. Until then, you're just over here. Actually, this is really what they call that high science. This is what they call out there clout chasing. Mm-hmm. Everybody messing up, but let's just talk about the most popular. Let's talk about the one that's more famous, the one that's going to get us the most attention. I don't like stuff like this.
It's not clout chasing to me, Sal. Yeah. What it is it makes sense. Did you see the movie I Am Legend?
Is that Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith. iRobot.
Is that like...
Okay. Yeah, I know you don't like the movie Ocean's 11. I know you don't like
No, it's not my favorite movie like yours. I don't think it's anyone's favorite movie but you.
Here's what we know. When you see a movie and you don't like a movie,
okay,
you don't say, the director was terrible. Man, the wardrobe designer was atrocious. Who selected the music? I cannot stand the executive producers. No. You criticize the lead actor. Because though the director might have been horrible, the executive producer could have been terrible, wardrobe design might have been bad, graphics could have been terrible, the music producers might have been atrocious. It is the lead main character who dictates the majority of the movie because they are in the most scenes.
Oh, man.
Dak Prescott is in the most scenes of all of the Cowboys players. Dak Prescott is the main character. Dak Prescott touches the ball every single time. He might hand it to Zeke. He might not. He might throw it to CD. He might not. But either way, Dak Prescott is the main character and he is the lead. So if we don't go to other organizations, if we don't go to movies, if we don't go to Broadway, if we don't go to a restaurant and we start criticizing who created the menus, no, if the food ain't good, we talk about the chef. We might talk about who else we interacted with, such as the host, the hostess, etc., but we talk about the chef because they are the person that dictated our experience.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott dictates the Cowboys' experience. There are clearly other factors, but Dak is the most important factor.
You come up here lying. And I hate to call somebody a liar, so I'm going to just say you are lying in this moment. I'm not going to put it all together and stamp you and your character, but you lying right now. Did you watch Chirac? Did you see Chirac?
No, sir.
No, you
don't
didn't.
watch movies.
You don't watch movies? Oh, really? But you're going to bring Ocean 11 up? Okay.
I didn't watch I Am Legend or iRobot.
But you bring up I Am Legend and I Am Robot and any other I Am in. Whatever. See, you're lying again. Now you're a liar. That's 2 lies. I got to call you a liar now. What the hell wrong? But anyway, I saw it. I ain't like it. But you know what? I didn't hear anyone criticizing the lead actors in that movie. You know why? Because it was a Spike Lee joint. You know what they did? Spike, producer. Spike, director. Spike, they criticized him. In situations like this, look, Jerry Jones is like, yeah, I'm Spike Lee. They criticize me a lot when the Dallas Cowboys suffer, when the Dallas Cowboys don't meet expectations. There are examples when you just don't look at the lead actor and just talk about it. There should be this example. Dak Prescott has the most wins in the NFL right behind, look at these names, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. Now, what separates him from those guys? Championships. Well, wait a minute. To get to a championship, you got to win. Dak Prescott is doing his part. And then in winning moments, this year is the first time I say it's on you, Dak. But before that, in terms of his losing record, it wasn't all on Dak. Matter of fact, I would say mostly it wasn't on Dak. But this criticism has been before this game. It's just now other people are joining in.
Here's why, and other people should join in. If I'll be honest, it's time now for y'all to join in on any Dak Prescott realistic analysis. Sunday night, we all watching the game. 51.5 million people are tuning in to watch Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes is a $40 million quarterback. Josh Allen is a $40 million quarterback. Josh Allen combines with Gabriel Davis, a wide receiver from University of Central Florida, the number 2 wide receiver on the team for 4 touchdown passes. Patrick Mahomes, a $40 million quarterback, combines with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill to get in field goal range in 13 seconds. So if you're watching the games, you're looking around like, that's what $40 million can get you. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're looking at, that's all $40 million got me. We've all been in this position before. You go to the mall. We can talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it at a bowl game. I want an example that everybody can relate to.
Okay.
You go to the mall with your boys, you go to the mall with your girls, you go to the mall with friends, group of people, and y'all all split up. Y'all go y'all separate ways, y'all separate ways. Oh, yeah, we finna buy this, we finna buy that. Your homeboy come back. Oh, snap. You got them fresh kicks. Snap, what they hit you for? Yeah. Oh, man, I got them for 100. All of a sudden, you pull out your little rinky-dink joints, and you paid 100 for some little rinky-dink kicks, and they paid 100 for the fresh kicks because they found theirs at a much better price than you found yours, or at least yours is severely underwhelming compared to theirs. That's what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys right now. Oh, snap. That's a Josh Allen, a 6'5", 240, 4,000 yards passing, 700 yards right. Oh, snap. That's a Patrick Mahomes. He just scored in 13 seconds. Oh, how much you get your Patrick Mahomes for? 40 mil.
Patrick Price.
How much you get your Josh Allen for? 40 mil. What you got? Let me see what you got. Dak, Dak, cool too. What, y'all still in the playoffs? No, you lost? Dak had a 53% completion percentage? What you get your Dak for? 20 mil, gotta be 20 mil, right? 18 mil? You pay 40 mil for Dak? That's what's going on right now, Sal. Comparison is the thief of joy. And if you comparing that man to those bad men in Kansas City, and that bad dude in Buffalo, you gotta feel some type of way.
Yeah, that was amazing. You got me over here cracking up. Perfect take. Except no one goes to the mall anymore. So that was weird. Amazon. You got those Amazon? Here we go. I used to be a klepto anyway, so all my stuff was free. I'm sorry. Coming up, we have a lot more on Sean Payton stepping down in New Orleans. We'll tell you if Dak's Cowboys should be interested. That's next on Speak for Yourself. How much those Dax go? Let's get back to the breaking news in New Orleans. Sean Payton has informed the Saints he is stepping down as head coach after 15 seasons. This huge move got us thinking about the coaching situation in Dallas. Keep in mind, the Saints would have to receive compensation if Payton went to another team. So, Acho, should the Cowboys be interested in Sean Payton?
Absolutely. That's the only person the Dallas Cowboys should be interested in. Jerry Jones should have really 2 major regrets over the course of his owning the Cowboys history. His first regret, obviously, Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
That spat letting Jimmy Johnson go. His second regret, not retaining Sean Payton when Sean Payton was a 42-year-old quarterback coach. And instead, Jerry Jones chose to retain Bill Parcells, a 65-year-old head coach at the time, just to have Bill Parcells retire the very next year. So Bill Parcells is retained over Sean Payton in 2005. In 2006, Bill Parcells retires and Sean Payton wins Coach of the Year over at the New Orleans Saints. Biggest regret of Jerry Jones' career. Why? Because Jerry Jones has developed a Cowboys Super Bowl roster. You have the Super Bowl talent. You have a 13-sack Micah Parsons. You have a 10-interception Trayvon Diggs. You have DeMarcus Lawrence who can play inside and outside. On the offensive end, you know what you got. You have your Dak, you have your CD, you have your Amari Cooper, you have your Zeke, you have your Tony Pollard, you have Tyron Smith, you have Zach Martin, you have Lyle Collins. Jerry Jones has developed and created an amazing Super Bowl roster. So now what's the issue? The issue in my mind has to be finding an upgraded head coach. It might be a marginal upgrade. It might be a maximal upgrade. But either way, you have to find an upgrade. If I have a better roster than you and I lose the game, then what is the missing ingredient? If I have more talent on the field, but somehow I lose on the scoreboard, then there has to be something off the field that is not yet adding up. We watched it go down with the 49ers and we watched it go down versus the Packers. The Packers have a much more talented roster than the San Francisco 49ers. But we saw Kyle Shanahan using Trent Williams, a probably first ballot Hall of Fame left tackle, at fullback? And you have Trent Williams pull. Okay, Deebo Samuel was a stud wide receiver at South Carolina. What is Deebo Samuel doing playing running back? So now the Green Bay Packers are at a disadvantage because you, Kyle Shanahan, as a coach, have manipulated your talent to maximize your talent to beat a much more talented roster. The Cowboys need a person, Sean Payton, who can manipulate the talent to maximize the roster. Keep in mind, while Sean Payton did have Drew Brees, we all know that, he also went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. While Sean Payton did have Drew Brees, we all know that, the next year he went 3-1 with Taysom Hill. Sean Payton has found a way to maximize talented pieces. Even this year, he was in the playoffs with Jameis. He was in the playoffs for a week with Jameis and Taysom. You just can't win with your third-string quarterback. I don't think we know Bill Belichick can do that. He couldn't win with Cam Newton. So with that being said, Cowboys got to find a way to go get Sean Payton.
Man, you want Sean Payton at all costs. You just taking shots at everybody, even in the GOAT. Bill Belichick took a shot. Ricochet off of that take right there. Okay, I respect that take. Yes, you should be interested in Sean Payton because he's a great coach. But here's the problem. Am I giving up on a great coach to get another great coach that is not as great?
Talk to me.
Let's talk. Who's a better coach to you, Sean Payton or Mike McCarthy? Sounds like Sean Payton, right? All right. Yeah, it's interesting. I see them both having a 9-10 win season, so they're the same there. Okay. 7 division titles in these 15 years. Okay, both of those guys. Ooh, who has more conference championship appearances? So it took them a little further. It's not Sean Payton. It's Mike McCarthy. Okay, that's fine. Same amount of Super Bowls. And who has more playoff wins? Mike McCarthy? Oh, Sean Payton? No. It's Mike McCarthy once again. I'm looking for some evidence, other than likability, of why Sean Payton is a better coach than Mike McCarthy. And even if you can say that Sean Payton is better. If they're this close, why replace Mike McCarthy with Sean Payton? Are you really going to count Mike McCarthy's first year without Dak Prescott basically most of that season against him? Call that Mike Mulligan year, Mike McCarthy Mulligan year, because that doesn't count. So then this year, he takes it to the playoffs, and they're one and done. Interesting. Who's the better coach? Let's just give you some context right here. Mike McCarthy or Matt LaFleur? Who's a better coach?
Matt LaFleur.
I love you for doubling down on what you feel. I love you. Okay. Who has a higher win percentage in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers? You would think it is Matt LaFleur, the better coach. Oh, no. He's 2-3, losing record with Aaron Rodgers? The MVP version of Aaron Rodgers right now? Back-to-back MVPs? Oh, 2-3. Well, Mike McCarthy, win percentage over 500, 9-7. Okay, whatever. Third season with Aaron Rodgers the Great. What did Mike McCarthy do? And what did Matt LaFleur do? Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers in year 3. What did Matt LaFleur just do right now with Aaron Rodgers' third year? Anybody? No trivia? It's getting quiet in the back. Anybody? One and done. Point being, Mike McCarthy is just suffering from bad PR, I guess, because by the numbers, by the measurables, he's better than Sean Payton and Matt LaFleur. But it just seems like the world won't acknowledge that.
No, a lot of holes in the argument. I don't want to waste all my time.
There's some holes in the argument.
I don't want to waste all my time dissecting.
Whatever.
But let's be honest in the fact that the NFC South, I believe, is the only division, maybe along with the NFC West, that has a Super Bowl representative in each of the last 10 years. You have the Bucs who have been to the Super Bowl, the Panthers been to the Super Bowl, the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, and the Saints went to the Super Bowl. So the Saints are in a much harder division than the Green Bay Packers have been in because we have not seen the Vikings in the Super Bowl in God knows how long. Don't even know off the top of my head. We have not seen the Bears in the Super Bowl since I believe Lovie Smith was there. Yeah. So the Saints were in a much harder division, and Sean Payton was succeeding in that division at such a high clip. But also, if I can, so you bring up a great point. That's the point I got to focus on. That's the best point. If Sean Payton is just marginally better. If it's just marginally.
And I don't say.
Was this weekend the greatest weekend in football in your mind?
Yes.
Greatest weekend. The first game, Titans and the Bengals, what'd that come down to?
Field goal.
Margins. The second game, Niners, Packers, what'd that come down to? Field goal. Margins.
Kick that ball.
The third game, the Rams, Bucks, what'd that come down to? Field goal. Margins. The last game, Chiefs, Bills, really it came down to a coin flip. But if you don't want to say a coin flip, it came down to the last play. Margins. The game of football literally comes down to margins. So if I can get marginally better, then I want to get marginally better. Because what we literally saw in 4 consecutive games this weekend, in the greatest weekend of football, was every game decided by margins. The margins of a crossbar or the margins of a coin. But it came down to margins. I think we can all agree that Sean Payton is better. How much better? He might be just a touch better. He might just be just a little hair, a little sliver better. But we should all be able to agree that one has been fired more recently than the other, and one with their backups does better than the other. So there's ample evidence to suggest that Sean Payton is at least marginally better. And in a game of football that comes down to margins, give me that small little margin.
But you're always, and you did this earlier, so let me highlight it now. You said, if the team is more talented and lose, then it has to be an issue off the field, as I quote you. How about on the field? You didn't execute. How about on the field? You didn't play up to your own standard before coach can even be involved, before coaching can even take hold. I need you to do you. And that's where I think that Mike McCarthy may suffer in this conversation. Look, Mike McCarthy's first year, last year, he lost his starting quarterback. He lost his franchise quarterback, right? This year, we saw the same thing in transition and retirement that you see now. Sean Payton didn't have his franchise quarterback. Jameis Winston's trying to fight for that opportunity. But then you saw that offense suffer much more in New Orleans with a guru, with a quarterback whisperer, with a genius versus Mike McCarthy, who people say has lost his fastball. They were 14th ranked, Dallas Cowboys, without their franchise quarterback on offense. You look at it over there, and Sean Payton, this was his worst year, 28th ranked, and he's still the same guy, but he didn't have his quarterback. All I'm saying is you give these guys the same pieces, be careful thinking you're going to get greater results, or as you say, marginal results. Coming up, have we seen the last of Tom Brady on the football field? Sure hope not. We'll tell you what's best for his future. That's next on Spade for yourself. Tom Brady is out of the playoffs, but before the loss to the Rams, a report said the 44-year-old quarterback was non-committal to play next season. Brady addressed his future yesterday, saying there's not a rush to figure out what's next, and he wants to decompress from 6 straight months of football and, quote, spend some time with my family. Acho, what's best for Tom Brady's future?
It's best for Tom Brady to retire. And I say this not because he's not great still. I say this because I'm always pro-retirement. Sel, as somebody who retired and has had a much better career post-NFL career, I'm always like, y'all, if y'all can get out once you've gotten yours, get out. Like, everybody assumes that the one room that they're in is the best room they can ever be in. But imagine if you open the door and then you expand your mind to a whole nother world of greatness. Tom Brady, you won 7 Super Bowls. You've been to God knows how many. You won a Super Bowl in the AFC. You won a Super Bowl in the NFC. You have one less playoff win versus NFC teams than Aaron Rodgers does.
Damn.
And you played your whole career in the AFC. What else you got to do, Tom Brady? What else do you have to accomplish, Tom Brady? What else do you have to prove, Tom Brady? You've proven everything. You got nothing left to play for except simply the love of the game. But that's when I would challenge Tom Brady, like I would challenge all of us. We have other passions. We just have to explore those other passions. You have a clothing line, you got TB12, you have a production company. You have so many different things going for you, and yet you still sitting here playing. If I'm Tom Brady, I would step away from the game because you have nothing left to prove. You have nothing left to accomplish. Go ahead and step away and continue to be great in a variety and a multitude of fields.
No disagreement from me, except I say everything that you would say. I echo that, but come back. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, talk to me.
Why end playing a child's game? Basically, why grow up? It's a child's game, and football doesn't retire you. I think there's a misnomer out there that football retires you. No, you know what does? Life. I'm going to tell you why life retires you, especially Tom Brady already alluded to it in his response. He's out of balance right now. Tom Brady is out of balance. Tom Brady right now is bigger to the world than he's available for his family. He's bigger to us, TB12 and my mask and all this gift care and all these, like TB12. He's bigger on the outside than he's available on the inside, especially emotionally. Let's talk about real situations, real scenarios. When you're walking around the house as an active football player, let alone the GOAT, your mind may be elsewhere, even though your body physically is present in the home. So Tom Brady, who knows he has to get to his film study, knows he has to get to his preparation, knows he has to get to Alex Guerrero and do his physical repairs, everything. And then he's playing with his kids. He's just hanging out with the kids. But his mind has to be elsewhere for 6 of the months of the year. He's not emotionally available, not present. He's not thinking about the Legos in front of him. He's thinking about the plays he got to run on Sunday. So now this is his time to figure out that balance. This is his time to invest in his family so that they can feel as big as he feels to us on the outside as TB12. I think that's the conversation. When the real world, like you're saying, when the real world is like, there are other opportunities, there's other things for you. Of course, Tom Brady's going to be successful post-career. But right now, why give up one career to hurry up and rush to that other career? He may win the MVP this year. Not likely, but may. Why leave right then? Don't give it up that fast. It's still a child's game.
Here's why I'm retiring if I'm Tom Brady. I'm retiring for this reason and this reason only. Let me leave on my time. I want to depart from the game. I do not want the game to depart from me. If you're Tom Brady, you can leave right here, right now, as either an MVP or an MVP runner-up, someone who got MVP votes. You can leave on a high. I went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I won a Super Bowl. I went to the playoffs, had an incredible season, won the NFC South. I can depart on a high. Conversely, somehow, some way you can depart on a low. We don't foresee it happen. It happens rarely. But Tom Brady, God forbid you get injured, something bad happens. So many NFL players fear the unknown and fear departing. That's why they stay into it. Tom Brady is not like so many other NFL players, but it's better that Tom Brady, you say no to the NFL than the NFL say no to you. Let me personalize it for a moment.
There we go.
True story, true story, true story. I got done with the NFL after 2015. I broke my thumb trying to force a fumble on Darren Sproles. 4 years in the NFL, vested, pension, annuity, you got all the benefits. I was like, I'm good. But I was like, do I want to keep playing? Do I want to keep playing? No, Acho, you got all the benefits. You'll never be a Pro Bowler. You'll never be a Hall of Famer. You're good. One thing happened to me one day, August 5th, 2016. I got a message from the Buffalo Bills. That's the screenshot right there. I still have this text message. It is the first text message in my phone. And I kept it because a Buffalo Bills scout texted me at, y'all can see the time, 11:01 p.m. And then he texts me again at 7:50 a.m. the next morning. And he says, hey, Emmanuel, what's going on? This is so-and-so from the Buffalo Bills. Are you up? I don't respond. He texts me again, hit me up so we can get you a flight to Buffalo for a tryout today. I don't respond. I call my agent. I said, I'm done. The reason I still retain that text message to this day is because over the course of my early retirement years from the NFL, I always wanted to remind myself I said no to the game. The game did not say no to me, at least for the sake of mental sanity, mental clarity, and full conviction and moving on to my next journey. Tom Brady, go ahead and say no to the game. The game is clearly not going to say no to you, Tom Brady. You can play for as long as you want to, as long as your body allows. But for the sake of your transition, for your mental sanity, your mental clarity, go ahead and say no to the game and forever remember you left a year departed from winning a Super Bowl and you left a year you got MVP votes and you left on a high.
Woo, tremendous. Golly. Both things can be right. Let me push back on that because I think Tom Brady is addicted to the love of football. Like, just he loves football. I mean, his accomplishment says he must. And I think a lot of time for us players, normal, human, mortal players, sometimes it's a fear of falling off, like not being that same player. So that makes your decisions for you more so than your love of football, the fear of falling off. I hear that a lot of times when we talk about these greats, like, oh, get out before we start thinking different of you. And it's like, that's not why I play in the first place if I'm Tom Brady. That's my only pushback. But I hear you. I used to say the same thing in the locker room when I was done in my 10th year. I'll say, look, dog, I got some highlights in front of me as well. That whole locker room thinking the highlights are behind them. I'm like, nah, dog, some are in front of me. And obviously I'm going to go in pursuit of them. Here's the thing. Let's talk about what Tom Brady is dealing with. And this is why I want to see him come back. But first, he has to get the proper balance emotionally with himself and his family. I had lunch one time, random occurrence. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you heard of him?
Of course, astrophysicist from Texas.
Okay. Oh, he's from Texas?
Yeah, one of my favorite. He went to the University of Texas.
Oh, okay.
I got a quote for you from him, but keep going.
Okay. Well, this was an amazing. I have met him before. He's been on my shows before. You know, I've been in the game for like 20, 30 years. So anyway, we said, hey, have lunch. My wife was there as well. And he broke something down to me that was really interesting in terms of a dynamic that we all laugh at and clown. Why do parents always take pictures of their kids and, more importantly, want to share them? And it's going to loop back to Tom Brady, but I thought this was amazing. He said, you know why parents always take pictures of their kids? And I was like, dog, I'm really trying to figure it out myself, because I do it too, but I'm like just addicted to doing it. He's like, it's because you know deep down that your kid will never be that young again. Take a picture of MJ. That's it. Forever frozen in time, that young again. Take another picture. That's it. He said, every time you take that picture and share it, all you're really telling yourself is, wow, that moment will never be back again, and that's the youngest my child will ever be. You try to hold on to him because you don't want him to grow up. Let's bring that to Tom Brady. Why is he still playing? Why should he still playing? Because he doesn't want to let go of something he can't ever do again. He wants this game to always be his, just like I want MJ to always be little, and it's not going to happen. So why give it up when you don't have to give it up? Just because you take a notch back or step back in terms of legacy, forget that, man. I'm still a kid out here playing.
Don't cry on me, Sal. Don't cry. I felt the
You already know.
coming.
Yeah, you already know. If MJ turns 7, I'm crying. Coming up, Joe Burrow is on his way to KC for the AFC Championship game. I'm on the way to KFC. But we'll tell you what he proved against the Titans. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Shut up, Acho. I ain't crying yet.
Joe Burrow helped lead the Bengals to their first AFC Championship game in 33 years when the Bengals beat the Titans. Now it's on to KC, where the Chiefs are favored by 7 points, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. But Burrow recently said he is, quote, tired of the underdog narrative. So what has Joe Burrow proven in the win over the Titans?
That he's special. And we all know that Joe Burrow is special, bona fide beast. He's special, but what he did is not that special. Let's be real about this. There are great quarterbacks that hit the ground running, and there are other quarterbacks that not so great that hit the ground running. And where will this land in terms of who Joe Burrow is? He has to go out there and make it happen for himself. We saw Tom Brady win a Super Bowl early in his career, right? First year as a starter. Tremendous. Got respect for that. We also seen other quarterbacks in their second year as a starter win a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes comes to mind, right? Tremendous. Like, wow, you could be the GOAT or you could be the little baby GOAT in Patrick Mahomes. But we also seen one of our guys do this same thing. You mean go to an AFC championship early in his career? Mark Sanchez. Oh, not once, but back-to-back years, consecutive years, AFC championship game appearances. So we've seen something like this already from the greatest of greats and from other guys who weren't considered as great, but they did it more times. So where's this going to land for Joe Burrow? Okay, it's going to land for you in terms of your personal accomplishments as something special. We know who you are. You are special. But in terms of what this is going to do in terms of legacy and NFL spectrum, I don't think it's that special. He's a slow Sanchez right now. Mark Sanchez did his rookie year, second year. This is his third year. How old is Joe Burrow? He your age, right? Isn't he the same age as you? Point being, I hate to do this to guys because I understand in the moment it feels amazing. But in totality, I don't think it's as special.
What Joe Burrow has done is special, and who Joe Burrow is special. Joe Burrow, in totality, special. That's the only word that I can use to describe him. Joe Burrow has solidified himself as the third best quarterback in the AFC. I ain't going to argue with it. You want to argue with your mama? Go argue with your mama. You want to argue with
Mama ain't here.
You want to argue with whoever you want to argue with? I'm saying the figurative mothers, okay?
Oh, okay.
So not your
the village is raising me now?
If you don't want to argue with your figurative mother. Joe Burrow has solidified himself as the third best quarterback in the AFC. Patrick Mahomes is 1. Josh Allen is 2. Joe Burrow is 3. Y'all can argue about 4 and 5, Herbert and Jackson, all that. But I know Joe Burrow is 3. Judge a man by the distance traveled is what they tell me. So how far did Joe Burrow travel? As the number 1 pick, the Bengals had won 2 games before Joe Burrow arrived.
2 years later in the AFC Championship game. I recall Lamar Jackson. Before he arrived, the Ravens had won 9 games. I recall Josh Allen. Before he arrived, the Bills had won 9 games. I recall Patrick Mahomes. Before he arrived, the Chiefs had won 12 games. Judge a man by the distance traveled, and Joe Burrow has traveled a greater distance than all of the other AFC greats. Joe Burrow is the man because he has it. What is it? The College Football Hall of Fame coach Mac Brown told me, you can't define it, but you know it when you see it. And Joe Burrow has it. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He ain't got the best arm. But whatever he has, he adds up to become one of the best. So what has Joe Burrow solidified? Third best quarterback in the AFC, that he's special and that he has it.
I'm not focused right now. Can't lie. You know I want to argue that Justin Herbert point, but he has to make the playoffs to get into this conversation. I respect that.
He's on the outside of the club.
Yeah, he's on the outside of the club, but you ever go outside the club when it's over, you're like, ooh, I should have been outside a little earlier. Justin Herbert out here? What the hell I'm doing inside spending all this money? Herberts are outside. Hell no. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Let's get back to how special Joe Burrow is.
Yes, sir.
Dog. Since Tom Brady, I've not seen someone be able to hypnotize a team and lead them in a direction as chosen like Joe Burrow can. Like the mental intangibles and the energy that he possesses to lead his men. Joe Burrow, second to only Tom Brady in that respect. Because you said it. You look at him in terms of talent. Dog, he got sacked 9 times against the Tennessee Titans. And every one of those sacks, I swear the independent neurologist or somebody was dropped to run on the field. Like, he was limping. He didn't know where he was. He was getting hammered and didn't blink. This dude is different. He's special. I respect all of that. All I'm saying is going to the AFC Championship game and losing, I think what we've done to Josh Allen, we'll do to him. What we did to Mark Sanchez when he did it back-to-back years, we'll do it to him. If he doesn't break through that glass ceiling. If he loses this week, we'll say, tremendous, go Cincy. And then now what the ceiling is will become the floor. And we'll look at Joe Burrow, as special as he is, and say, where are your team accomplishments? We'll move the goalposts. We do it for Dak Prescott. We do it for Josh Allen. We did it for Mark Sanchez. We're going to continue to do it at this position. So, Joe Burrow, as special as you are, if you don't win this game and you just lose an AFC Championship game, that will now be the new floor. And it's going to be tough for him to exceed consistently those expectations.
But still, if that's the new floor, I think that's that marble floor, if you will.
I'll take it.
Like, if that's the new floor, that's one of those where you're looking like, wow, what this man has accomplished. Even Mark Sanchez showed up and had the #1 defense in football.
Yes.
Sanchez showed up and had beasts all across the defensive line, the offensive line. I believe he had the #3 rushing game in football as well. Joe Burrow showed up, and he was the missing piece. That's what people don't understand. It is so hard to lift up a franchise. The head coach for the Bengals, Zach Taylor, was there before Joe Burrow. He was on the hot seat. They was talking about firing him. He won 2 games before Joe Burrow shows up. He wins 6 games Joe Burrow's rookie year because Joe Burrow gets hurt. And now Joe Burrow has saved his seat and saved the franchise. The Bengals have not won a playoff game in 33 years. That was the second longest drought in all of American sports. Talking the major 4, MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL. Joe Burrow ended that drought. You get sacked 9 times and you don't flinch. All right, let's have a real moment here.
I'm about to.
What all coaches tell players defensively, offensively, Sell and myself, hey, this quarterback don't like to get hit. That's what they're feeling before a game. As if, like, hitting the quarterback will somehow make him relapse into, like, his high school talent capacity. Hey, Tom Brady's a great quarterback, but if you hit him, he's as normal as everybody else. They hit Joe Burrow 9 times.
They got him.
Sacked him 9 times. They ain't just hit him 9 times.
They hit him way more than that.
And he ain't turned into everybody else.
Okay.
He stayed as Joey B. Joe Burrow.
He ain't turned anybody else?
Some way, he adding it up.
Oh, he ain't turn anybody else? Really? How many touchdowns he throw for since he didn't turn anybody?
Enough to win.
None.
Enough to win.
Now you done activated the Justin Herbert. I got his number. He outside the club. I'm like, hey, we're going to wrap. Now let's talk for Justin Herbert. Oh, as I look at this now.
Herbert can't touch Burrow. I swear. We can stand up and do this. We can go to the big board and do this. We can close our eyes and do this. Herbert
Who's the Pro Bowler out of the two? Who's the Pro Bowler?
Congratulations. What you get for being in the Pro Bowl?
Hold on. You act like they both don't have losing records. It got quiet. 12-13-1. That's who you arguing for. That's a losing record. 15-17. That's a losing record. You in the playoffs. Congratulations.
That's a huge congratulations.
No, it's huge if he finishes the deal. If not, he just had a longer season of getting hurt in 9 sacks. Who wants 9 sacks for nothing? That's what this is going to turn into. Boy, don't you even start. I got numbers here, but we can have this argument the proper way, or we can get to some gangster right now.
Tell me what you wanted, big dog.
Proper. I don't want to hijack the show just yet, but with a guy who's not in the playoffs. Respect for Joe Burrow. Just watch. You said this is the new floor, marble floors. You ever had marble floors? I have. I got to tell this story. True story. I'm a Dallas Cowboy, right? So I'm in Dallas playing, and I become friends with some of the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Terry, headband man, I used to call him. He used to always show up. And he walked in my floor one time, marble floor. He's like, oh, wow, this is fresh. This is fresh. I hate to say this story, but I had to tell it. It was so funny. You know, I'm having a little house party, ballers before the show came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling. And he was like, oh, this is so. And the next thing you know, we saw Jason Terry's feet higher than his head in the air as he was slipping on this marble floor. They marble floors. They're slippery. You know what's slippery about this being your new floor? The expectations in terms of how we love you, Joe Burrow. What just happened? Be very careful. I'm not saying don't succeed, but you better succeed. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer. Better win the Super Bowl. But is Eli Manning more qualified for the gold jacket? What? We'll answer that next on Speak for Yourself. This is why Aaron Rodgers don't like people. I can tell. Aaron Rodgers' season was cut short by the 49ers a few days ago. Rodgers is an MVP frontrunner and a surefire Hall of Famer. We know that, but he's still sitting with only one Super Bowl win. That's one less win than Eli Manning. And Manning's former teammate, kicker Lawrence Tynes, took notice. Tynes tweeted, Eli Manning is a more qualified Hall of Famer than Aaron Rodgers. Bring all the smoke you want. I'm taking 10 over 12 anytime a game is on the line or the playoffs. Shots, Acho. Is that Eli Manning a more qualified Hall of Famer than Aaron Rodgers?
Man, it sounds asinine at the surface, but when you figure out what it takes to get into the Hall of Fame, you might be like, wait a second. Let's start with this. Eli Manning is to the postseason what Aaron Rodgers is to the regular season. Ooh. Let's start there.
Wow.
Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Currently, Aaron Rodgers, 3 NFL MVPs. So let's start there. Eli Manning gets to the postseason what Aaron Rodgers is to the regular season. Let's also all ask ourselves this question. Would I rather have 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs, or 1 Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP and 3 regular season MVPs?
4.
I think most of us would take 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs over 1 Super Bowl and the regular season status. But here's where the nuance comes in. Terrell Owens, depending on time of the year. If you were to ask his statistics to answer, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Hell yeah.
Of course he is. Did he go first ballot?
No, petty.
Why not?
Hated it.
Because he was not likable. Antonio Brown by talent, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it. Will he be first ballot more likely than not? Doubtful, because not likable. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most unlikable players in the National Football League. Conversely, Eli Manning is one of the most likable former players in the National Football League. So is Aaron Rodgers more talented than Eli Manning? Duh, ain't nobody having that debate in the regular season. But in the postseason, and as it pertains to more qualified Hall of Famer, I can understand why you would engage in the conversation, particularly if you're a Giant.
Boy, these new breed intellectuals. So bored. They got a computer in their hand. They call it a phone. It has worldwide transmission. That means someone in Japan right now could read your ignorance. And Acho's going to support this ignorance by, instead of just going on his phone, going to do it on broadcast television. We're going to do it right here for the world to see. Let's talk it then, damn it. What are we doing? What has happened to merit? What has happened to credibility? What has happened to respecting the eyeball and the eyeball test? Hell no, he's not a more qualified Hall of Famer than Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about what the Hall of Fame is. And I know I see you, Eli Manning, coming towards Hall of Fame. We're going to let you in. But be careful if you're trying to jump the line to get in before Aaron Rodgers. You better retire before him. Oh, you did. Good. You're going to get in before him. It's the only reason why. Because you can't use your team success for an individual award.
Sir,
you can't.
They do.
No. I'm not saying what they do because they also do this. See, this is what you're saying. You're saying they do one or the other. No, they say, oh, you can have team success, but when we look at you, are you consistently excellent? Be real. Was Eli Manning consistently excellent?
Eli Manning put no fear in my eyes at all, and I played against him twice a year for 4 years.
So the criteria to even get in the Hall of Fame discussion is not how many Super Bowls have you won. It's how consistently excellent are you. Oh, Payton, Dan Marino just hit me up. Okay. Barry Sanders just hit me up. You want me to go down that list? Here the thing is, and you just cooked the books. Would you rather have 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and 0 MVPs for the season, or 1 Super Bowl win and 3, about to be 4 MVPs? Raise my hand, Your Honor. Ladder. 1 Super Bowl. I'm a champ. And I got 3. Let's just say what he has right now. 3, and you have 0? Let's keep going. That's not it. How many times were you an All-Pro, Eli? Never? Marcellus Wiley was an All-Pro. You weren't an All-Pro? Boy, you sorry. 4 times for Aaron Rodgers the Great. How many times were you a Pro Bowler? 4. Well, let me double that and add 2. That's Aaron Rodgers at 10. Bruh, I don't know where you want to go. I got a list. And the only thing that Eli has over him, we obviously acknowledge the team award, which is the Super Bowl championship. He's top 10 individually in passing touchdowns, passing yards, and completions. Congratulations, Eli. Because Aaron Rodgers is as well. There's nothing individually that you can look at Eli and say he's better or as good as Aaron Rodgers.
Here's your
blasphemy, brother.
Here's your problem. The NFL isn't track and field. It's not tennis. It's not an individual sport. You only brag about individual accolades if you don't have team ones. Let's be real. When you're starting in college, hey, big dog, oh, you were an All-American? No, people usually ask, oh, were you a national champion?
Oh, ain't nobody ever asked me that because they know I wasn't going to be a national champion, so they asked me All-American.
Exactly, because you couldn't talk about your team awards. So if you had won a Super Bowl, you're not going around talking about, if you'd won a Super Bowl,
say it again.
You are leading with the Super Bowl before you're leading with being a top 100 NFL player 2 times, before you're leading with being a Pro Bowler.
You know why? You can hide behind being a Super Bowl champion. Let me tell you how. 1, you don't even have to play in the game. How many guys walking around with rings? You be like, oh, what'd you do? Wore my sweatsuit tight. Okay, so you didn't get it. Then you can look at guys who didn't even contribute, but they played. Hall of Famer.
Eli did.
Time out. Oh, no, Eli's amazing in the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to do that. I'm comparing him to Aaron Rodgers. Now you got a problem. Squeeze a Hall of Famer. You never can find bad production consistently. And that's the big difference. We're talking about an individual award, Hall of Fame status. That's why there are fewer Hall of Famers than there are champions. The scarcity right there lets you know which one is more rare, which one is more pristine.
Here's the thing, though,
Hall of Famer.
What is the greatest accolade in football?
Hall of Famer.
No. And while you're currently playing. The greatest thing you can achieve while you're
you lying to yourself when you're under the spell of the NFL?
You can currently achieve while you are playing.
While the fans are telling you what's more important than you think.
Super Bowl MVP.
Boy, stop.
That's the greatest accolade. You would rather be
MVP.
Yeah, being a Super Bowl.
Okay, I'm mad right here. I'm not even listening to you right now.
Super Bowl MVP
yeah, that's fresh.
is the greatest accolade.
That's fresh as are fresh.
And Eli did it twice. So there is definitely a conversation and definitely an argument.
Well, even his brother said, I wouldn't have thrown it off his helmet. I probably would have hit him in the numbers. Even his brother's like, yeah, you won the MVPs. He got his brother. Is he a better Hall of Famer than his brother?
Peyton got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but one of them. Coming up, Baker Mayfield is using social media to bid about social media. We'll tell you if he was keeping it 100 or 99. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Man, don't do Aaron Rodgers. On this show, we only know how to keep it 100, but others, y'all just keep it 99. So each day, we're going to get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point, Baker Mayfield gave props to the playoff teams over the weekend. But then he got trolled by fans and a member of the media who said he was not as good as some of the playoff quarterbacks. Baker responded, tweeting, "Nevertheless, social media is toxic. Always kept my circle tight. Time to get back to that. Family and loved ones only." Oh, I chose Baker Mayfield. Keeping it at 100 or 99?
Oh, God. He's keeping it 100, but it's a confused 100, big dog. Like, he's getting on social media to say something, but just to tell us that he's departing social media. Like, Baker, you don't need to announce your arrival and departure on social media. If you want to tweet
tweet. If you don't want to tweet, you ain't got to tweet. But you don't need to tell us that you going to stop tweeting, and you don't need to tell us that you're going to start tweeting.
Yeah, his offensive coordinator, my homeboy, former teammate, Alex Van Pelt. Remember 2 years ago in the offseason, he's like, oh, Baker Mayfield's quiet and Baker Mayfield's staying off of social media. Then Baker Mayfield went on social media to say he's staying off of social media. He can't get right, dog. He is a roller coaster, a human ride, dog, just up and down. Baker, it's not toxic. It's just negative if you look at it through that lens. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. And y'all are toxic. I was just lying.